Many small content creators, such as myself, were able to get into the IAAPA Expo thanks to the generousness of the people in charge of press over there. There are much better creators out there to give you tours of the floor, and I was only there for a couple days anyways, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to share with you some of the things that I saw that I'm really excited to see appear into various theme parks in the future. First up, I want to talk about Doth Robotics' Dark Ride. They showed off a trackless ride conveyance system with interactive capabilities as well as multiple axes of motion, or I guess I should say degrees of freedom. Now, I could be mistaken, but as far as I can recall, most trackless systems have very little motion outside of the conveyance. Usually you're just being transported around a location. I know in some trackless rides there is some bouncing around, but it's very minor. Some also do allow you to spin. Not only is there a trackless conveyance system, independent of that, it can pitch, roll, yaw, as well as change its elevation and rotate on the Z-axis. Basically, to me, it seems like a smaller version of the Scoop ride vehicle that is trackless. This system also has an interactive capability, as you can see with the holstered guns on the ride vehicle, as well as people shooting at a steampunk robot in some concept art. As of this press release, the conveyance system doesn't have an upcoming attraction, but hopefully they found some potential buyers because I would love to ride on this thing. Next, I would like to talk about Nightflight Expedition coming to Dollywood. They are touting this as their most ambitious attraction ever, and judging by what I'm seeing from IAAPA as well as their promotional material on YouTube, it definitely seems to be. Though the stunning reveal of the ride vehicle was somewhat spoiled by the promotional material, it was quite exciting to get an opportunity to take a close look at the various theming elements upon it, such as the Hyperlift technology rotors as well as the onboard bioluminators. You can see the incredible capabilities of this ride system from the Mission Bermuda videos online. Using this ride system to simulate an all-terrain vehicle traversing a bioluminescent secret forest just sounds incredible, making this possibly my most anticipated new attraction of 2026. The next thing I'm pretty excited to talk about is the Krazy Karts from Triotech. Now, unfortunately, there was no actual footage of this ride system being utilized, but apparently it's not just vaporware because they're promising that in 2026, somewhere in Montreal, they're going to open it with its other two new attractions, Electric Funfair and Energize. Now, as they were explaining it, as well as the supporting literature, it basically sounds like the Mario Kart attraction I wanted but never got. They promised to blend the thrill of karting with the excitement of video games. With their dynamic mapping technology, they can project an environment that has video game style power-ups and obstacles. They say this can be installed in almost any standard building, so hopefully this can potentially proliferate and there might be a crazy karting opportunity nearby and not the too far future. Now, it sounds like the first iterations of this ride system will only utilize projections on the environment, but they are saying that later there's a second iteration that'll utilize augmented reality.
The second version in the future, we are looking at using augmented reality. So you'll see your friends, but you'll see the stuff flying around you in real 3D. That's going to be an upgrade to this current system without changing the hardware.
Next, I would like to talk about the suspended dark ride vehicle from Vekoma. Now, there is little known about the attraction that this ride vehicle is attached to, SeaQuest Legends of the Deep for SeaWorld, so I'm not really vouching for my excitement for the attraction. However, I am pretty excited about this ride system. Suspended dark rides don't come around that often, and something that is particularly interesting to this one is how compact it is, at least how compact it is depicted in this video. Technology making this suspended ride system unique from others is how it is suspended from a single universal joint. Usually in suspended dark rides, they're connected by a couple of anchor points, or are rigidly attached to the conveyance system. This causes a fairly rigid ride experience that can be kind of choppy. By having this universal joint, the ride system can rotate 360 degrees on the Z-axis. Not only that, but when the ride accelerates or stops suddenly, as well as go around a tight turn, it has the opportunity to sway up to 20 degrees. I can see this potential motion being quite thrilling, and even if not, it probably helps enhance the sense of floating. Last, I would like to talk about Sally Dark Ride's The Mini Dark Ride. The very first iteration of this type of attraction is opening in Qatar as Guardians of the Hidden Chamber. What I find particularly fascinating about this type of dark ride is how they are achieving their big dark ride experience in a relatively tiny footprint. Due to the relatively small footprint, of course, screens are utilized heavily in this concept. That being said though, there's opportunities for an abundance of animatronics. The main trick here is that the same corridor is utilized multiple times as different locations. Essentially, they're kind of achieving a similar effect to what happens in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway when you're at that tropical island, but then your car goes into a half-dome scene, and when you come out, you're now underwater. It's the same room, but now it's thematically different. This effect of being in a new location is enhanced by a couple of turntables. By having different themed elements or animatronics on either side, you can basically utilize them for 2 separate locations. So overall, the corridor itself can be 3 separate locations. An additional fun feature of this attraction is how you can have 2 vehicles operating at the same time. While one vehicle is in a theater section, the other one can traverse the corridor and enter or exit the unload-load station. And then one more cool feature for this ride system. On their website, they said that with easily swappable media packages, operators can keep the experience fresh and remarket this attraction seasonally or annually. Each mini ride can be customized through interchangeable media and scenic environments. So it sounds like it'd be fairly easy to implement seasonal overlays, or if the attraction starts waning in interest, you can potentially rechange it altogether for a fairly reasonable cost. Alright, last I'd like to do some quick honorable mentions. These are honorable mentions because they're not necessarily moving the industry in any particular direction, I don't think, but I'm still looking forward to them. They had a ride vehicle from the new Hollywood Drift Coaster that is coming to Universal Studios in Hollywood. They didn't really announce it there, but hey, it was cool to see it, so I'm going to put it in here. There was Snorkel Drift, which looks like a lot of fun. You just hold on to a fin basically and you get towed through a pretty environment underwater. How cool is that? Sally Dark Ride's Phantom Theater, because it looks like it'll be a pretty fun attraction with solid animatronics. The Sonic Bounce House, because obviously. And then of course Nateland. No, not really. The Lego Space Mountain Ride, because it's a Lego Space Mountain ride. And you also get to sort of build your own ride vehicle. Oh yes, and Zamprilla's Wings, because accessibility is always worth shouting out. Good for them. It's also a lot of fun to watch people flap their arms. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And please check out some of my other videos, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time.